completely bankrupt. All of the money that I had spent, the $3 million, was not paid back by the developer and the contractor. They denied my change order. As a result of that, everything I had leveraged, my $1.5 million bank line was tapped out. It was gone. My $1 million equipment line tapped out. It was gone. My money in my personal bank account, gone. My home that I put on the line was foreclosed on. Both of my cars were repossessed in the same day. All of my credit cards maxed out, gone. I put everything on the line, and as a result of me being a really horrible boss and not a good, sound leader, I lost everything. In 2013, I had to move from Baltimore to Raleigh, North Carolina, and when I got to Raleigh, North Carolina, April 2013, I had $400 to my name. That's it. In April 2012, I was a multi-millionaire. April 2013, I had $400. I left Baltimore. I had to leave my home. I got down to Raleigh. The same week we moved there, both cars were repossessed by the repo man in the same day. Now, I got down to Raleigh. I was in shambles. I was literally just like, what am I going to do? I had a job at Merrill Lynch, and things were coming along okay. But here's the problem. I had missed the pay scale, and we had $400 in our name. We were literally 1 week away from being homeless, where I told my fiance, who's now my wife, you're going to go live here with your parents, and I'm going to figure it out. But that's how close we were. But fortunately, the National Football League gave me the same type of opportunity that the New America Tour is trying to give to people who will listen, that want to work. They allowed me to stay in my home and pay some bills to my creditors, not to me, to my creditors. Said, Marques, here's an opportunity. You have 3 to 4 months to get this together. We're not going to help you beyond that. We're going to give you an opportunity. Here it is. I took the opportunity. Again, I was at Merrill Lynch. I was working. Things were not going well at Merrill Lynch, though. I was failing my practice tests. I was not doing well there. I got fired after 2 months from Merrill Lynch. All my fault. Nobody's fault but mine. I ended up then going to a construction company the next day. Went to that construction company, was fired 5 days later. They shut down the parts division to that organization, and I had nothing. Lost everything. So then I decided, what am I going to do now? Remember the word pivot? So what did I do? I became an entrepreneur, and I started training kids in football how to get where they wanted to go. I knew football, I knew business, so I started that. Problem was, a lot of my kids started to move into playing football, going through the season. I had less clients coming to the door. This is what happened that changed my life to be where I am today. One of my clients had a janitorial business. She said, Marques, if you know anybody that needs a job, I'm hiring. I said, what does the job entail? She said, it's a custodian job working from 10 p.m. till 5 a.m. downtown Raleigh on the graveyard shift. I said, how much does it pay? She said, it pays $8 an hour. And I asked her one question. Do you need a background check? And when can you start? Well, that's 2 questions. When can you start? She said, no background check, you can start right away. I told her, you have your hire, you have your employee. She said, Marques, why do you want to work for $8 an hour? She said, and I told her, I said this, I have a family to take care of. I need to make money. Things are slow for me. There's nothing beneath me that I won't do to take care of my family. Took the job, started working, and she paid me $8.25 an hour. Was working there starting September, and then 2 weeks on the job, I had my pivotal moment. 4:30 in the morning, was taking out the trash to throw the trash away, like I always do on my shift. There was a rip in the front side of the bag, which I could not see. When I went to throw the trash in the trash can, all the trash in the bag came back on my body. My clothes, my skin, everything. And that was the moment where I said, what in the hell has happened to my life? I threw the trash away, cleaned up the best I could. I sat down on the curb, put my head in my hands, and I started to cry. And I realized, ladies and gentlemen, there was no accountability, there was no ownership, there was no structure in my life. I kept blaming other people for my faults. My business partner, the client, the developer, the contractor, my employees. I just kept blaming everybody else besides myself. In the new America, we talk a lot about leadership, but leadership starts with you taking personal responsibility. Mr. Yankee will be talking about that here in a little bit. It's so important because if you don't take ownership of your life, what do you think is going to happen? When things happen good, you're not gonna take credit for it. If it happens bad, you're gonna say, well, okay, well, great, somebody else's fault. This is what happens when we have a life where there's no accountability, no structure, no ownership. We are doomed. So once I figured that out, I came home, I sat down, and I wrote out my strengths. I was good with people. I wanted to tell stories. I wanted to help others from my mistakes. That's how I figured out to become a keynote speaker. So, people say, well, Marques, you want to become a keynote speaker, you must have had a lot of jobs right away. I had a lot of free jobs right away. For 2.5 years, I didn't get one paid speaking job. Think about that. For 30 months, not one paid job. I did other work. I coached football. I did everything else you could think about to make money. I had a business with football, ran some 707 leagues. I did all that I could to make money, but no one paid me for my craft. I did a lot of free work. This is the whole point we talked about earlier about being inspired. I knew that this was my calling. No matter how much adversity I had to go through, I knew I could help people if I got the chance. Finally got my first paid opportunity, April 2016, from Miller Mott College in Wilmington, North Carolina. Took the job, spoke, I kept working, I kept perfecting, I kept getting coached, I kept getting mentored, and today I've worked for 17 Fortune 500 companies. Of the 17, 10 are Fortune 100. I have a great speaking business, I have a great organization, I have great partners and people on the team. We do a lot of things, we've written 2 books, everything you can think of, but again, it's not just me. I had to go through a lot of adversity, I had to go through a lot of failure, I had to go through a lot of hardship to get to where I am. I now have great people on my staff, part of the team, and we have a culture that's built on respect, letting people be included, and not making anybody feel that their information or their thought process is not valued. So again, this is what the success cycle is all about. There's 3 major keys to the success cycle. There's ambition, there's drive, and there's hard work. Ambition. Ambition is when you set a blueprint, you set a roadmap for your life. Think about this. If you're starting at point X, but you don't know where your final destination is or beyond the finish line, how are you going to get there? Right? How are you going to get there? So for me, when I started the speaking business, I had no ambition. I had no blueprint. I had a lot of desire. I had a lot of drive, which we'll talk about here in a moment, but I didn't have ambition. I just said, okay, I'm going to be a speaker. Let's go. Bam. That's not realistic. In the new America, we teach you a lot about how you have to set a structure. You have to create a blueprint and or roadmap for your life. Because here's what's going to happen. If you know where you're starting, where you want to get to, and then beyond, as the road kind of swerves, you know how to pivot and adjust. You know how to see a detour sign up, where to go, how to take the cut, how to get around to get where you want to go. But if you're going through life with no ambition, it's like going through life with no purpose. When people don't have purpose, they go through life hopelessly, aimlessly, not knowing where they want to go. What happens is they spend most of their life being a follower, not a leader. So number one of the success cycle is ambition. You must figure out your blueprint. You must create your roadmap for your own journey, for your own success. Again, don't focus on other people. Focus on where you are, where you want to be, and you get there. Number two is drive. Now, people talk to me all the time about the word drive. Well, Marcus, what is drive? Here's what drive is. Drive is having the burning inner desire and passion to get where you want to go, no matter what adversity, hardships, or struggles you have to endure. Now think about this. Inspire, motivated. People use those two words interchangeably a lot. I do not. When you're motivated, you're doing something for external gain, monetary, notoriety, fame, and you're doing it for a short-term purpose. When you're inspired, you're going to go through brick walls. You're going to go to the end of the earth and keep going, even though you don't see any road. You're going to have that burning desire to get where you want in life, no matter what adversity you